Okay. So today we're going to be studying time structuring. One of the ways in which we structure time is by withdrawal. So withdrawal is the name given to times, one of the time structuring, where you withdraw within yourself and create an internal focus, like when you meditate or when you do things by yourself, okay, where there is nobody else involved except you. And you create an internal focus. You're focused on something. That is a period which you call withdrawal. Now, you've already done strokes, you've already done ego states. Which ego state would be active when I meditate or when I withdraw? Which ego
Adult,
state would be active when I withdraw? That means I'm
adult,
only focused on myself.
adult.
Adult, correct. So adult would be active because I'm focused on something, correct? Suppose now withdrawal would not mean doing an activity. Like suppose you're doing accounts, that will not be considered as withdrawal. Withdrawal is when I am internally, when I'm giving myself internal strokes. Remember internal strokes? Okay, where I give myself internal, there are external strokes and there are internal strokes. External strokes is when nature gives you strokes, not people, but nature. Internal strokes is something that I give myself. So when I'm meditating, I'm so focused on myself that I tend to give myself stroke. When I'm sleeping, sleeping is also an activity of withdrawal, correct? In the afternoon, you take a nap. So again, you are quiet, you're in the adult state and you're going to sleep. Got the idea? So in the withdrawal state, you are generally in the adult because you're focused on yourself. Now, it is possible that you are about to sleep, you are with yourself, but you could be negative NP. You could be in a negative nurturing parent. You must be upset, critical, angry, and you just want to sleep. You want to withdraw. Want to withdraw from the world around you. So it's not necessary that an adult only is withdrawing. You can be in a negative NP or where you are withdrawing, or you are in a positive NP. You are thinking of some amazing stuff that somebody has told you. You are holding all the strokes together, the positive strokes that have come your way. You're lying in bed, okay, and you're really feeling peaceful. But you are withdrawn from the outside world. So, adult negative NP, positive NP can be also present when you withdraw. Now, I want you all to notice how much time are you spending in withdrawal? How much time in a day are you spending in withdrawal?
2 hours.
2 hours. Okay. Now make a pie chart. Pie chart पता है कैसे होता है ना? एक
Yeah.
circle होता है. ठीक है? And from the fulcrum, you create 2 hours. So it's a 24-hour day. All right. So now you make a pie chart and make that quadrant and write 2 hours. You also sleep, right?
Yes.
You
Yes.
don't sleep for only 2 hours, no? You sleep much more.
हाँ वो तो नाइट टाइम है या
But that is 24 hours, no?
हाँ
How
तो
much time are you spending sleeping plus withdrawal in the day?
हम्म, तो
Look at the
एट नाइन
number of
आवर्स
hours and write it down.
8 9 hours हाँ
So if you're sleeping for 8 hours plus 2, it would be 10 hours in withdrawal because sleeping is also withdrawal. There's an internal focus in sleeping. You're not interested in the outside world. So write how many hours you're sleeping plus how many hours you're meditating or lying, just sitting around, focused on yourself, planning. In withdrawal, you also plan. Have you noticed? Sometimes you're just sitting and you're planning. भाई मुझे कुछ बनाना है, मुझे खाना बनाना है, guests are coming. I'm not writing how many guests, then it will be a different time structuring. But I'm just thinking mentally that I have to plan, what do I make, that kind of thing. Anything that goes in the mind becomes part of withdrawal. So Namrita is saying most of my time. Okay. So Namrita, sweetie, most of your time is going in withdrawal. Then what will happen to the other time that you're spending? So let us look at the other activities and then you decide how much time you're spending in withdrawal. Okay. So even daydreaming will be in withdrawal. Daydreaming, no? Dreaming about the trip that you're planning to take, or maybe whatever party arrangement, all this will be in withdrawal. Where there is no physical contact with anything amounts to withdrawal. So even physically, people live together in the same house, but there is no physical contact with the person, and you just move to the other room. Okay, so you're withdrawing, no? And then you'll do some activity. There are many people, children nowadays, adolescents, they just shut themselves up in the room and they sit around. That is also withdrawal. Okay?
Dr. Trilogy,
Ma'am,
Sorry?
I'm alone, so I'm withdrawal almost all day.
No, but yeah. So let's go through the others, Dominic, and then
Okay.
see how many hours you're spending in withdrawal. Okay. The second is rituals. Like Maya said, she got up in the morning and she did the early morning chores. So that is a ritual, right? We get up in the morning, we have a bath. What we do regularly, something that we do. Yeah, Radhika is saying, I plan a lot, think mentally to do many things, but I'm only being with plants, trees, and food. Yeah, okay, okay. Yeah. So you're just with yourself. There is no contact, there is no situation where you can speak, interact, transact, all that is not taking place. Okay. Now, so rituals, how much time do we spend in rituals? These are predictable, socially acceptable things. Like even when you go to a park for a walk and you say hello to somebody, that's a ritual. You meet somebody and you say hi. This is also a ritual. It's like something that you have done in that situation multiple times. So in the morning when you wake up, you have a bath, you eat your food, whatever you're doing, all that comes under ritual. So how much time do you spend in the whole day in rituals? There are many people, who go to the washroom at least 5 times a day. That's a ritual. Something that is repetitive and socially acceptable, but you're spending a lot of time in it. Correct? So that becomes a ritual. Some people spend a lot of time cleaning their home, dusting, cleaning, swabbing, washing. That is something that they do every day, same time, same duration. That is a ritual. So now you have to see how much time are you spending doing rituals? And which do you get strokes when you do rituals? Does somebody stroke you? Wow, you have cleaned the floor really well. Nobody is stroking you, right? Or you make tea in the morning for somebody, the person just drinks tea and goes. Yeah, there is the opportunity for strokes in a ritual is very little. Unless you're in a park and you smile at somebody and somebody smiles at you, the possibility of a stroke could be there, either verbal or non-verbal. But if you're somebody who is a lazy person and never goes outside in the morning or in the afternoon, and there is very little social contact, then your rituals will not have many strokes. Hardly any strokes you'll have. Okay. What are you going to be in this ritual state? Doing these regular rituals?
An adult.
Yeah, you'll generally be in the adult state, right? Having a bath and, all that is generally adult does it, right? It depends. Huh? Now again, there are many people when they brushing their teeth. Okay, they suddenly think of the time when they were children, and they take a lot of time brushing their teeth, looking in the mouth, teeth, something, that kind of thing. Some childlike behavior can come also, but generally it's an adult that is doing rituals. Also, you can have parent ego state, CP. Have you noticed your CP coming up when you do rituals? Huh? Have you noticed it or not? Suppose there is dirt on the floor. You'll suddenly sweep the floor and there'll be a voice in your head saying, do it properly. It's not done properly. Huh? Go to the corner. There is some dirt lying in the corner behind the door you haven't cleaned. You haven't cleaned behind the door, and then you open the door and then you clean, right? Left to yourself, you may not have done it. But the parent ego state says you should clean properly. Look at the dust on the thing. You haven't cleaned the glass today. Come on, spray the thing and now wipe the glass. Have you noticed this happening or not? Yeah. So the CP or parent ego state can also be very active during rituals. Okay. It's not always the adult that is active during rituals. So generally, it's your parent ego state that's quite active. All right, especially in the kitchen. Have you noticed when you go in the morning in the kitchen and the kitchen is dirty and you haven't cleaned it, suppose in the night, there'll be a voice in your head saying, your mom will be saying, what is this? Your kitchen is not clean. It should be cleaner. Why is the bottles like this? You don't even come to know, but that parent ego state keeps chattering, 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 chattering. So generally in ritual, you could be in an adult. If not, you could be in a parent ego state. And it could be CP. Anybody can give an example of a CP that troubles you when you're doing rituals?
Ma'am, suppose I am cleaning something.
हाँ,
Suppose मुझे
हाँ,
याद है when I used to uh, make the like mold the flour for
हाँ,
making roti. और अगर थोड़ा सा बाहर गिर जाता था तो बहुत जोर डांट पड़ती थी कि ये क्या
हाँ,
तरीका है मतलब. So every time I am doing that, I
हाँ.
remember my mom's voice. So
Yeah,
even one speck should not fall outside.
that is so amazing. Yeah, right. Even that happens with me, by the way. Yeah. Anybody else? So you understand how CP comes up, huh? You think CP is resting, CP is not resting. In a very simple activity like roti banana also, mummy is not leaving us peacefully. Gunjan is saying, yes, when I'm cleaning, my dog is running here and there. Huh? So what happens, Gunjan? So your CP comes up?
Yes, my CP comes up.
Correct. So your CP will come up. Okay. So it's a very interesting thing to observe. And then, are you getting strokes when you're doing rituals? Not really. Hardly any. Nobody's going to stroke you. Right. I mean, Gunjan, when you're cleaning the dog, you're giving it a bath and all that, does your wife come and say, wow, Gunjan, you've given the
Yes,
dog a really good bath?
yes,
Oh, she does come. So you're being stroked. Lucky
yes.
you. Okay. But generally in a ritual thing, nobody really strokes you unless you are with people. Anna?
Right.
Unless you are with people, then some strokes can come your way. And generally they are conditional strokes, conditioned to the work that you're doing. Okay. So rituals can give you strokes. It can give you conditional strokes to the work that you do. Now, the third is what we call pastime. The third time structuring is pastime. So write down how many hours you're spending in rituals on your pie chart.
बस कर दिया मैंने आज बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग.
How many hours are you spending in rituals?
Ma'am, going
1
to
hour,
office
2
and doing,
hours. Rajinder,
ma'am, going to office and doing work over there is also part of the
that is
ritual.
not a ritual. Going and coming, that is a ritual.
Going and coming and doing work over
Just the
there.
action, not the work. The work is not a ritual. Because it is possible that maybe one day you may have more work, less work. Maybe also your ego state will change when you go to work. Your
Yes,
expectation will change when you go to work. One day, though you may be doing the same work every day, but it is you're engaging your adult ego state. Your CP is also getting engaged when you're doing work. And there's a lot of adapted child that comes during your workspace. If your boss is there, or if you are the boss and you have subordinates, then all this drama will start happening at that time. So catching the same bus and coming back by the same bus, driving the car and going, that can be a ritual, because that is the same route that you're taking every day.
yeah.
So that will come under ritual. Okay.
Okay.
But work by itself, that will not come under ritual.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay,
Now
got
let us look at pastime. Pastime is what? any superficial um, conversation on topics without any deep engagement. You're not engaged very deeply in this conversation. Like talking about the weather or current events, current affairs, with somebody on the phone. That's like pastime. Like reading a book, if that's your pastime. अरे यार, how do I pass my time today? हम लोग बोलते हैं ना ऐसे. How do I pass my time today? मम्मी मैं क्या करूँ, छुट्टी है. How do I pass my time? That means he's looking for time pass. Okay. So how much time, or what are the things that you all do to pass time? Anybody? Yeah, Charu, you want to say something? Charu? Charu, you've raised your hand. You want to say something? Naren? Okay. Anybody can tell me how you do time pass? कैसे करते हैं pass time? So if you're, let's say, listening to a audio, okay, you have
Deep.
Oh, it definitely.
Yeah. So I think
It is
other
information
podcasts other
gaining.
than MAMS could be a pastime.
Good. It is like information gaining.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you listen to podcasts, you get involved, right?
Yeah,
You're
actually.
listening. Okay. You're listening to something from outside, right? And also, maybe it is to do with knowledge. Like somebody like Shakuntala, when she listens to a podcast, she'll also make notes. So that is not her pastime. Okay. So it depends. How are you listening? Is it for only entertainment? Is it actually to kill time? Or you have decided that from this time to this time every day I will listen to a podcast. Then that will become a ritual. अगर आपके पास टाइम है और आपने डिसाइड किया है कि 4 से 5 बजे तक मेरे पास टाइम है, तो मैं एवरी डे 4 से 5 बजे तक पॉडकास्ट सुनूंगी, तो वो फिर रिचुअल बन जाएगा. बिकॉज आपने टाइम फिक्स कर दिया है, तो वो रिचुअल बन गया. जैसे नहाने का टाइम फिक्स है, तो वो रिचुअल बन गया, राइट? सो यू हैव टू सी व्हाट इज योर एटीट्यूड टुवर्ड्स व्हाट यू आर डूइंग. Then you can decide whether it is a pastime or a ritual. Okay? Got the idea? So it is, so pastime. How many of you are passing time, killing time, talking on the phone, random conversations on the phone, discussing, or you're standing at the bus stop and, killing time by talking to somebody. That's becoming pastime. Even in your workspace, okay? Suppose you're in your workspace and you have a break time. That's your pastime. You're killing time, actually. है ना? Between work. What are you doing? What are you doing between work?
We'll go
You're
for
talking.
tea.
Huh? Gunjan, what do you do?
We'll go for tea. We'll go for
You
breakfast,
go for
lunch.
tea and general talk, which you forget also. Generally, pastime conversation is forgotten because it's not anything important, right? You're killing that time during that period, then getting back to your work. So will you get strokes in pastime? Strokes मिल सकते हैं pastime में?
Yes.
मिल
Yes,
सकते हैं.
Yes.
definitely मिल सकते हैं. You're with your friends or, you're on the phone. People can give you strokes. Spontaneous stroking हो सकती है. There can be spontaneous stroking happening during pastime. Which particular ego state will be active in pastime?
When child,
Child.
Child can be active.
Yeah.
Then any
Other
ego
times,
state can be active.
yes.
Any ego state can be active in pastime. Suppose you are criticizing somebody and the two of you have complementary transactions criticizing each other or others, your friends. Okay? You remember, no? What is a complementary transaction? A transaction that addresses an ego state and that ego state replies to you. So you can be discussing with your friend on the phone about how schools are kind of frustrating children, or the exams are now going on and how the children are under stress. So that conversation can be complementary, it can continue. And you could be talking either from negative NP, negative CP, positive CP, negative plus NP, anything. Any ego state can come into effect in a pastime. Okay? Spontaneous child, mate, free child. Free child doesn't come into effect in pastime. It will come into effect in intimacy. Generally, pastime, what are we talking in pastime? Either we are talking about somebody or we are discussing something with the opposite person, but it's not relevant or important. It is just random. There is no focus in that discussion, so it is called pastime. If there is a focus in the discussion, then it will become activity, which is the next time structuring. After pastime comes activity. So what is activity? Like work, it's purposeful. Pastime is not purposeful, activity is purposeful. In pastime, you don't really organize the conversation. Somebody calls and you may be talking for half an hour. Your husband is waiting for you. अरे चलो phone नीचे रखो, मुझे भूख लगी है. But you are busy talking. Pastime. Okay? So what happens in that, it is not purposeful. Pastime is not a purposeful activity. Whereas activity as a time structuring is a purposeful activity. You organize data, you work on a project, you will be playing a sport because you're a sportsman and you're playing a sport, right? Going for your practice becomes an activity because it is geared to something. That is why listening to a podcast can be an activity for somebody. It can be a pastime for somebody. Yeah. What is a ritual? What did you say, Sanjan? What are you saying about a ritual? Activity as a ritual?
Cooking food is a daily ritual, right?
Yes, for some people.
Okay.
And for some people, it can be actually kind of therapeutic. There are many people who come home from work and cook. And when you tell them, like, why you're so tired, they say, no, but this relaxes me. Some people say that cooking itself is very, very therapeutic for them. Okay. So for them, cooking can become an activity because they're organizing what are they going to make. Like my daughter and her partner. So they have a cook. So Kushal, my daughter's partner, every day sends the cook a YouTube video that today you have to make this. So he surfs the net, then he selects what has to be made. It's an activity for him. And then he will send it to the cook. And the cook and he will have a conversation on the phone that bhaiya ye saman hai, ye saman nahi hai. So my daughter says that, Mama, Kushal, half an hour he needs that activity with the cook to instruct her what needs to be made from the YouTube video. So for that is an activity. It is not a pastime. So how are you using the resource? That will determine whether it's a pastime, ritual, or activity. Understood? So that's up to you to decide. Will you be getting strokes in the activity? Possibility of strokes is there? Yes. There is a possibility of stroking at your workplace or even when your client comes to you. Right, Maya? When your client came to you and then left, she thanked you. She said, whatever, thank you
Yes.
so much. It was wonderful. So you got strokes. So
Yes.
basically, so activity will give you conditional stroking. Condition to the activity. जो आपने किया है, काम किया है, according to that, the strokes will be given to you. Correct? So activity can give you lot of strokes. And what is going to be active in the activity? Obviously, your adult is going to be active, right? Even if you are a clown, it's the adult that is active because the adult has already planned how to make people laugh. What is he going to say? What is going to be the punchline? Correct? So he's organized his data and then he's doing an act. Yeah. So that becomes an activity. So the adult is very much active during an activity. So how much time have you all spent today doing an activity? Where you've got some conditional stroking also, and your adult has been pretty active. How many hours have you spent doing an activity?
5.
Okay, 5 hours, that's quite a lot. So, and during those 5 hours, Madhulika, if you have to break that, Was there a time when you picked up the phone and spoke to somebody, which was not an activity, which was more a ritual, like your mom calling you and saying, "Ha, mama, how are you doing?" and putting the phone down. That can be a ritual.
Yeah,
Okay?
not
So-
not
No,
really, but
not
even
really.
during official transaction, like if I'm talking to the headmistress,
Yeah.
so while like if I'm talking say for 20 minutes,
Hmm.
maybe 10 minutes may go in a little bit of a little frivolous talk,
Correct.
which
Correct. So
may
there's
so
some
yeah,
pastime
some pastime
even
is there.
during the period of activity. Okay. So
Activity.
don't think that, oh, I'm doing an activity means I'm not having other time structures coming in. It will come in. Okay. Like somebody enters your cabin and you say, hello. Hello becomes a ritual.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
No? How
yes.
are you doing? Becomes a ritual.
Yeah.
Correct?
Even when we meet the parents in this school
Correct.
scenario, I
Correct.
mean, we don't straight away go into, something which is an activity.
Correct.
There
Absolutely.
is a social interaction there.
Correct. So there will be a ritual in before an activity begins, it generally starts with a ritual, where you will take out the stuff or you'll open your laptop, you know, all the stuff that you do regularly will fall under ritual. Okay. And the activity would be only the time that you spend doing something purposeful, like planning, organizing, giving instructions at the school level. This will form the activity. Something new that needs to be done on that day becomes an activity. So if you list the time out very nicely tomorrow, day after, in the next 1 week, you will actually know how much time you're spending in all these areas. Okay? Because our purpose is what? Recognition. TA says you need to be stroked. Receive and give strokes. Correct? Because that makes you healthy. So if you are spending a lot of time in withdrawal, a lot of time in pastime, then it is possible that stroking would be less. And then if somebody tells me I'm not getting enough strokes, then I would look at the time structuring of that person. Maybe the opportunity for stroking is not there. Okay. Then the fifth time structuring is what we call games. We haven't yet started games in TA, but games are generally, they have hidden motives. We haven't yet started it, but just to give you a little bit of understanding on games, games generally involve some hidden motivation. And they generally lead to a negative outcome. Hidden motivation equal to negative outcome. Now, these games are psychologically driven. These games are generally psychologically driven. So let us understand one or two games. Okay, so you understand the three words I said: psychologically driven, hidden motivation is there, and they lead to a negative outcome. Negative stroking is given to you. So let us say you're a counselor and a person comes to see you, client. And the client sits opposite to you, have a ritual, say hello, how are you doing? Please sit down. So we start with the ritual, person sits down. Then you can have a little bit of time pass, 3 minutes. How did you come? Did you come by train? I think you stay here. Did you catch the train? Was it raining outside? Some time pass, 3 minutes can be there for time pass, okay? Now, obviously, you start the activity because you're a counselor. So you start the activity. What is your problem? How are you doing? So you have a checklist and you're going to now tick mark. All right. So the activity has begun. So you started with ritual. You had a little bit of time pass and now the activity starts. Okay. How will this activity turn into a game? That's very interesting. Okay. So now this person is sitting, talking about her problems, and then you say, yeah, that's, you have this problem, but what about yoga? Have you tried yoga? The lady says that I'm under tremendous stress. So you say that, oh yeah, But yoga seems to be quite helpful to a few people in under stress. Have you tried it? Yes, yes, yes. I've tried yoga. It hasn't worked for me. Okay, then go on. What are the other things that are contributing to your stress? So now she continues. Okay. And after some time, you say, what are you fond of? And she says, I love painting. And you say, oh, wow, painting can help you with stress. It can just de-stress you. So why don't you get on with painting? She says, no, I used to do it in childhood. Now I don't do it at all. Painting ki baat mat karo. I can't do painting now. So again, you have been cut. Huh? Yoga bola, deleted. Painting, deleted. Now again, you say, okay, and then she continues with her ranting. Oh, this happened, that happened. My sister-in-law said this, my mother-in-law. So then you say that, it's a great idea to understand that you have to do cross transaction. I've tried that. I've tried that. That also has not worked. Now you are doing an activity, but very soon what has happened? You've got caught in a game. What is the game called? Yes, but. That's a game of TA. So the person says, yes, yes, I've done this, but cancel. Again, you say something, yes, yes, but no. Again, you say, yes, but, and the but continues. At the end of 45 minutes, you don't even know how she has got you in the game. Are you the first therapist that she has visited? No, she has not. She has visited many therapists. And then at the end of that session of 45 minutes, so 1 hour, she says, ma'am, what a waste of time it has been, because ma'am, you haven't been able to help me one bit. So there is a negative stroke. Correct? You haven't been able to help me one bit. And she pays you, of course, but you are little, feeling terrible. And she walks out of the clinic thinking, ye sab therapist aise hi hai. Waste of money hai. And the therapist says these clients are like this only. So both of you, what have you collected? Negative strokes. So when a event in which you have engaged eventually leaves you with a negative stroke, not only you, but the opposite person also gets a negative stroke. Okay? It's not only one person, but both people involved will get a negative stroke. So this game is called Why Don't You? Yes, but. It's called WDB. These games have a lot of acronyms, okay? Why don't you? The counselor says, why don't you? And the patient says, yes, but. So it's called WDP. It's a very interesting game. And what is the ego state coming up here now? Chalo stroke to mila nahi, you've got negative stroking. And you receive also negative stroking. And you give also negative. Ma'am, what is this? Huh? I've given you so many options. You haven't even taken one. And that lady may just shrug her shoulders, negative stroking. She received also, you also received negative stroking. So what is the ego state coming into play in the games?
Child ego state, ma'am.
Negative ego states. All
Like
negative
because.
ego states will come into play.
Okay.
Okay, adapted child, negative AC,
Critical.
negative CP, negative NP. ये ही stroke games में stroke करते रहेंगे. Okay. So there's another game, called, so that the name of that game is blemish. You know what is a blemish? Like a scar. It's called a blemish. Like finding faults. In blemish game, people find faults with each other. So the players, two people, are playing a game where they are finding faults with each other. Or the imperfections in the group also. अरे group कैसा था? है ना? Or there is somebody, when the mentor says, please give me feedback. That person will say, get up and say, sir, I'm sorry to say, but the group was not at all cooperative and I didn't enjoy the game. So now she's giving negative strokes not into the mentor, to everybody in the group also. वो सबको negative stroke कर रही है ना? Because she's saying, "Oh, ma'am, sir, I'm sorry to say, but this group was not at all interactive. They did not even communicate much. So all the group members who are sitting there are all getting negative stroke. Will they also give a negative stroke? Yeah, they will give a negative stroke, no? Somebody will get up and say, yes, ma'am, sir, but I did go to her in one of the activity, but she never really smiled. So I didn't take her as my partner. She'll get negative stroke. Does this happen or not? Yeah. So blemish. Okay. So eventually in blemish, what will happen? There'll be a feeling of not being good enough. Or one person may get a feeling of superiority. So I plus you minus or I minus you plus. That is how the game will be played in the players. We've done I plus you minus. We've done the life position. The rest of you, I think I haven't yet done the life
The
position.
No,
negative, I think not.
no.
Yeah, only the inner child people are nodding because they've done it. Yeah, okay. So basically, negative strokes will be given in games. Have you noticed couples playing games? Blemish.
Ma'am, I was just about to say that.
Wife and husband.
Blame games.
Blame games, correct. When you see a couple going through divorce or about to divorce, there is only blemish being played. Just let's get the faults out. Fault finding. It's a typical game. Okay. So that way in TA there are many games are mentioned in the book Games People Play. We'll be talking a lot about games once we start on games. Okay. But so this is also one way in which we have our time can be structured. Now, please look at your life and see if you are structuring time by playing games. Anybody can tell me? If you're getting a lot of negatives, how would you know that you are playing games? If you are getting a lot of negative strokes in your life, in your day, then you must be in a gamey behavior, we call it. You're having gamey behavior. If a lot of negative strokes are coming your way, then you may be in a gamey behavior. You may not understand or you may not recognize that you're in a gamey behavior. But negative stroking means, too much of negative stroking means you are in a game. Anybody here who has a lot of negative stroke coming to you at your workplace, at home?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So now, Maya, you have to see whether you are in a gamey behavior. Is there some hidden motive with which you are acting because of which negative strokes are coming your way from the same people? Yeah, the counselor and client was there. So if this counselor is getting a lot of clients who are unhappy with her, then maybe she is actually encouraging a gamey behavior because she wants negative stroking. She does not feel she's good enough. So if, as a counselor, if you're attracting people who are giving you negative strokes or who are unhappy with you or leaving you with less money, you asking for a certain amount of money and they give you less, then obviously that is a negative stroke. So it is possible that you are engaging in some gamey behavior. You may not even realize, but it is possible that your ego state could become negative CP. And your tone of the voice or the words that you're using or the way you sit could be giving the impression to the client that you're negative CP. And then the client's negative AC gets active as a PC kind of transaction. And the negative AC gets active, comes up, and then this transaction becomes gamey. You in negative CP and the client in negative AC. Okay, so this has to be observed very carefully. So I leave you today. I mean, when we end the session, that's going to be your homework to observe Where are you getting negative strokes? Because that has to change, right? Where are you getting negative strokes? Who is giving you negative strokes? And what is the situation where these negative strokes seem to be coming your way repeatedly? This will really help you tremendously from moving from negative CP to positive CP, or from negative NP to positive NP first, and also moving from negative stroking to positive stroking. It's a very important exercise, okay? It's only through games that a lot of stuff can be revealed to you. The sixth time structuring in TA is intimacy. So authentic, open, congruent encounters. That's how it is defined. Authentic, open, and congruent encounters characterized by trust and honesty, mutual respect, which gives you positive strokes only. Intimacy will give you only positive strokes and also brings you into the positive FC. Also brings you into the positive FC, where you have a sense of humor, you're witty, people love to spend time with you, you have no I plus U minus, I minus U plus, or you have only I plus U plus. That is how intimacy can be created. So how much time do you think you're going to spend today in intimacy? That is why it is said that every family in the evening should play some games. Because during the whole day, there is no time for intimacy. Correct? Your positive FC cannot come up because you're busy with activity, rituals, all that, okay? So a lot of women, who are smart and who understand TA, they will be cleaning the house, but they'll be putting some fantastic music where they dance and clean the house. Okay, encouraging their positive FC to at least come up, though there is no intimacy, but at least there is a positive FC that is coming up. And then maybe, when your partner comes up, or you talk to a friend or something like that, you go to a kitty party, you can engage in one or two people, some intimacy and trustful conversations. So that's very important for your FC to not only wait for intimacy, where you can sit with your children or with your partner or with your parents, play some games, joke around, have some beautiful, very interesting conversation with somebody where you feel so good, filled up, then intimacy can be created. Most people who get depressed, actually in the time structuring, intimacy is not there only. They don't have intimacy, and that's one of the reasons that people get depressed. If you have intimacy, given a lot of, I put nice music when I do cleaning. Yes, very good, Ambika. So when you have intimate moments with your children, with your partner, with your parents, with your friends, you cannot be depressed because your positive FC will come up and a lot of positive unconditional stroking will happen. It's in intimacy that a lot of unconditional stroking happens. Like in the office, you have a very close friend and you've just come out from your boss's cabin and just got a promotion. Yeah. And your friend has come to know, he just comes in and says, hey man, damn good. It's intimacy. Even in the activity time, suddenly a moment of intimacy has come up with the stroke is unconditional. So intimacy may you will have unconditional stroking and a lot of positive FC coming up. Yeah, very good, Tapasya. I dance when I'm happy or dance like Shashi Kapoor, very nice. Amitabh Bachchan, very nice. So Tapasya is coming to Rishikesh, I think. And we are going to see some dance movements there from her. Okay. Madhulika, when the kids are not loan out of the yes, absolutely. That's when intimacy is there, Madhulika. So it's important that parents are told this, how important this time is in the evening, even if it's half an hour, where there is intimacy. And you could be using anything for intimacy. TV or even a game for that matter. The game is less important, but the conversations are more important. Not about winning and losing, but it's just about playing a game, okay, with the family. That becomes primary rather than the winning and losing, okay? So
Even
these
a
are the,
dinner with a family can be counted in intimacy.
sorry?
Even a dinner with a family can be
Yeah, it
counted in
depends. The
intimacy.
dinner can also become negative CP. डिनर में भी क्रिटिकल पेरेंट आ सकता है, एडल्ट भी आ सकता है, okay, where there is no conversation on the table, everybody's eating their food, you pay the bill and you come back home. There is no intimacy.
No intimacy.
Intimacy is when there is a banter. You know what is a banter? No, like, you know, the family talking about things, laughing about something, okay, and there is this feeling of joy. And there's a lot of positive stroking happening. You know, like a father and daughter or father and children, when they go out together, the family goes out together. The father hardly spends time with the kids, okay? The kids miss that. But when they go out for dinner, the father is constantly complimenting his children. I didn't know, Papa, you've grown up so big. You're looking so good in this color. The daughter feels really good. And then the children look forward to going out for dinner with their father because they're getting all the positive strokes at dinner. So they'll all say, people will say to me that, you know, ma'am, I remember the time when I spent with my father and going out for dinner with him. Rest of the time, I don't remember. But ma'am, bachpan mein na ye hum karte the, and it used to be so good because Papa used to do this, Papa used to do that, Papa used to do that. They remember this because there was intimacy. Otherwise, they will not, and they felt good about it. Okay. So intimacy में negative stroking nahi. There is no negative stroking. It has to be positive stroking. Okay. So the 6 time structuring that you have learned today. Now look at your pie chart and see how and where are you spending time in a day. Are you getting positive stroking? Are you getting negative stroking? You know, which particular ego state seems to be more active for you in the day, because then that will become your constant ego state. So you structure time because otherwise you will get bored. Time structuring is very important. Otherwise you will get bored. And also through time structuring, you can get strokes. That's another reason why time structuring is important. And to fulfill your psychological and social needs, you must structure your time. The 3 reasons why we tell people or teach people that time structuring is so important. And withdrawal and intimacy are 2 ends of a spectrum. Withdrawal is when there is no strokes given to you, and intimacy is when maximum strokes are given to you. So that is how the spectrum runs. Okay. Now look at your pie chart and see if you feel you're not getting enough positive strokes, then what should you be doing? Maybe increasing your intimacy, even with your friends for that matter. You know, like in a kitty party, you'll have 2 friends in a corner talking something very intimate, sharing. That's in the pastime, you can have an intimate moment. Like you have movies में दिखाते हैं, the young couple is sitting on the dinner table and the whole family is sitting there, and the young man touches or tickles the feet of the girl sitting next to her or opposite her. So दिखाते हैं ना scenes. So an intimate moment is stolen in a pastime. This is how intimate moments are stolen, and joy can be created in that person, and positive FC can come up. So our purpose is what? If you, as we've already done the ego state exercise, NP, positive NP, adult and positive FC. These are the 3 ego states that need to be active and alert and coming up rather than negative CP and negative NP and negative AC. So look at your time structuring and structure it so that you have more intimate moments, even during activity time. You're going to the office and you're missing your wife or husband, your mother or friend or child, and you send her a nice little heart on WhatsApp. That's an intimate moment that is stolen.
And
So-
even in,
Hmm.
sorry, ma'am, even in an official space, if like, you know, you are appreciating someone or
Yes.
somebody is appreciating you, it can be an intimate.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be an intimate moment where positive stroking is given. But like I said, Madhulika, that in intimacy, there are more positive, unconditional strokes. So if there are a lot of unconditional strokes, that's great. But generally in an office setup, you may have conditional stroking. Oh, this dress is lovely. Or, ma'am, you're looking really nice today. So it's conditional to how you're looking. An unconditional stroke would mean just somebody like a child who just runs to you, and just gives you a hug without any reason. At school level to bahut hota hai ye, hai na? That becomes an unconditional positive stroke. And suddenly you laugh, the child laughs. So that becomes an intimate moment.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Plenty of opportunity.
Yeah, plenty of opportunity. So each of us will have to seek those opportunities. Opportunities are there, but we don't seek it out. And then eventually we feel कि नहीं हो रहा है. We are not getting unconditional positive stroking. But maybe we're not utilizing the opportunities to get unconditional positive stroking. Especially couples, when they wake up in the morning, they can give each other a big hug. Yeah, they can have an intimate kiss. They can have an intimate moment. And that can set the ball rolling for the day for positive FC to come up. Okay, so that is how you have to structure your time. So time structuring in TA is a very important topic because people can understand how they are living their day-to-day life. How many hours are you spending in intimacy? Very little, maybe. So unconditional stroking is very little, especially if you're living alone, not married, you have no partner, right? Living by yourself, working, then coming back home, like a scientist, okay, who works in the lab, who doesn't get much of strokes. He's not getting any kind of conditional stroking. He may get some non-verbal stroking, just like a ritual, smile or something like that, with a lift man or somebody says good morning and he smiles and he also smiles and says good morning. Very superficial stroking is taking place. He's generally in the adult ego state because of his work. He comes back home and cooks. Again, it's a ritual for him because he has to cook every day at that time. He maybe watches some TV alone and goes to sleep alone. So such a person, intimacy will be very little. Ability to stroke unconditionally will reduce in his case. And even ability to receive unconditional stroking will also go down. So such a person will become a constant adult. He's constantly adult. He's not experiencing the parent, nor is he experiencing the child. Okay, so such a person he'll be C, he'll be A all the time. And after some time, such people are like computers. They only organize data, they plan, they execute, they synthesize data. They become like a computer. And in time to come, what will happen to such a person? They become robotic. They become robotic in nature. So we'll be talking about constant and excluded ego state next time. So you'll understand what constant and excluded ego states are. Please remember the time structuring because we'll be using this, like how we are using strokes today, how we are using ego states today, transactions today. So TA is, though it has many topics, you have to link it all together. Then only you can become a transactional analyst because you're looking at strokes, but you're also looking at ego states. You're looking at ego states, but you're also looking at time structuring. Correct? Because when you have to counsel somebody with TA, you have to know the time structuring, no? of that person to know as to why this person is depressed or why this person is not getting positive strokes. Then such a person, you can prepare a pie chart. You can, exactly how we've done today, you can have a session with them, explain to them, then let them draw, let them understand how many hours they are spending in what. And then you ask them to increase certain time period. Suppose there is somebody who's doing only pastime. Children. I mean, not children. Let's say a 24-year-old adult is not working. He's given up his work. He's at home, whiling his time. What is he doing? He's just doing pastime. Activity zero. There is no purposeful activity being done by this man. So you have to tell him that look at your pie chart. Yeah, it is not balanced. And why should you start doing some activity? Only then you will get these kind of strokes. You'll also become a CP, positive CP. अभी तो you've become AC, negative AC बन गए हो आप, है ना? Complaining, fault finding, and then, whiling your time away, giving headache to your parents, temper tantrums. All this you're doing at 24. Is it right on your part? Look how you're acting like a negative AC. Negative FC. Okay, rebellious, substance abuse. You're doing all this. Where is the activity here? Not there in your pie chart. So TA is an extremely kind of cognitive psychotherapeutic format. It helps the person to understand. In TA, you don't put a person in some kind of regression or hypnosis. Okay, you are allowing this person's cognitive ability to come into effect. So it's extremely good with executive coaches, with corporate people, rational thinkers, because you give them a theory of personality to understand. So once they understand their personality and they understand, in a structured manner, their life can get better.
So, ma'am,
Okay,
I have a question.
Yeah.
I tend to just work. Like even there's a time I will not do one task. I'm
Multitask.
doing multitasking and I just work. And I know this is not right. And it's kind of, I'm questioning myself. My husband is questioning myself. So
So intimacy has to go up. And pastime. You need more pastime, like a hobby. You need a hobby that will help your child to come up. And then you need more intimacy, where possibly unconditional stroking is given to you. This activity-based life, this workaholic-based life, is eventually going to drain you because you're not getting any strokes.
It's draining me. I mean, even today I saw my psychologist. So I'm on continuous hyper mode.
So now you look at the time structuring, work on this. Prepare your pie chart and send it to me. Okay, observe yourself for the week. Write down how many hours, what you are doing in the week. At the end of the week, prepare a pie chart and put it up.
Okay.
Let me study it, okay?
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah.
Ma'am, can we do the inner child healing using only TA, or is some sort of regression or hypnotherapy is also required?
It's not required, Sapna. By using TA, you can understand how you are working, and like you did work in Goa, which was more kind of process driven. You can use hypnosis, you can use regression, not that you can't use it. It can be used. Okay, once you understand the structure, then within the structure, you can use some form of, let's say, kind of meditation, as we did in Goa. Small meditations can be done. Writing work can be done. Now, all the ones here who have joined, like Viji, Gunjan, Sapna, who are the others? I can see the names of people who, Rishu. Yeah, all of you who've just come back from Goa, you have a manual and you have lots of exercise. I hope you've just scanned through the manual. Okay, so and I've already told you in the group that please make a group like 3-4 of you and start working with all the exercises written in the manual. Okay, do the checklist and do the exercise. Do the checklist, do the exercises. So this way, what will happen in a month and a half, you will be doing a lot of stuff to clean your inner child. Okay, please start working on this. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you, everybody. Sorry for now it's behaving itself, but so thank you. So please prepare your time chart. Thank you so much for all the strokes that are coming my way.